Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're heading back in to the GT GOKU event, this time with the LR SSJ4s. Of course, we've already used the gods and they, even on a 170 team, I mean it's no surprise to me, I expected it to happen, but even on a 170 lead team, they dominated. They were ridiculously good, they were amazing. It's honestly really not difficult to see why they are two of the best units in the game, even months later and probably after that, even on JP. So we are keeping them on the same team, or we are using the SSJ4s on the same team as the gods. The only difference is the setup technically is a little bit weaker for the SSJ4s. You know, they don't link too badly with the gods. You know, they share 4 out of 7 links. You know, Kamehameha, Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. To be fair, there's a lot of great attack links. Not that either of these two LRs need them, because they do great damage anyway, and it's a longer event, so they're stacking. But this is a little bit of a weaker setup compared to the gods. You know, if we had SSJ4 GOKU on the team, you know, we'd be showing 6 out of 7 links. Incredibly strong setup. Mainly for the link Saiyan Raw. That's the main big link we're missing. If we would have them with SSJ4 GOKU. Because that is attack plus 25%. So we are missing out a little bit, but not too much. They'll still work really fine. Plus, I just kind of wanted to run them with the gods purely for fun, like just purely shits and giggles, just because I think it'll be a lot of fun to actually run them together. So that's why I've brought them with us, literally purely to run this rotation, because they're just both amazing units. I just wanted to run them together. And what I do love about these two units is not only do they share a lot of categories together, not only do they link not too badly with each other, and when it comes to a longer event like this, even some of the attack links they're missing, more so the SSJ4s with saying Raw. Actually, no, the gods as well kind of hurt from it. They are missing Warrior Gods and Godly Power, which in total is attack plus 25%. So while the gods are missing 2 links, it still equivalates to the same amount the SSJ4s are missing with Saiyan Raw. So while they're not at their very pinnacle linking with each other, they still link really well together. They're still going to link well together. And, you know, they're going to be stacking the entire event anyway, so it's not like we're missing out on a lot. You know, and it's just going to be a lot of fun to run them together. I said, not only do they go on a lot of categories together, but the huge thing, which I think is great about these two, is the fact that they go on the same 200% category together as well. Not only do they share a plethora of the same categories, but they go on the Super Saiyan Gods 200% category lead. Which means they could perform, again, if you have them on the same rotation, not at their very best for either of them, but you get that 200%, you get that extra 30% HP in attack and defense with them, which is great. I said, because they're just 2 amazing units, they're a lot of fun to use, they're 2 of the best units in the game currently on Global, they will be still 2 of the best games currently further down the line and on JP currently, but they will drop from the top spot to the second spot because of the Trunks and Vegeta, but they just kind of have it all, man. As I said, the only flaw this unit really does have is the fact that in red zone, where they're going to be crucial, or where that damage is very much needed and very much useful, the only flaw this unit, or either unit has, less so the SSJ4s once they're in Gogeta, but the only flaw these 2 units have is in red zone, because it hits so hard, you don't really have enough time to build them up. So their immediate defense, not what their defense can become, their immediate defense just isn't good enough. Even after a few stacks, it just isn't where it needs to be for red zone, which is completely fine. Because once you transform them, as I've said so many times, it doesn't mean their defense is bad, it doesn't mean they're not good, it doesn't mean they're not even good in red zone, because that damage is tough to sacrifice. That damage in red zone is huge. Not a lot of units can do that in red zone. Not a lot of units do that in the game full stop. Well, not a lot of units can do that in red zone. So their offense, their sheer power and dominance is still incredibly valuable. Just their immediate defense isn't good enough for red zone. As I said before, you can get a few stacks off of them, which definitely does help. But it's still not enough. Without, you know, guard, without damage reduction, it's just not enough. And that's where the SSJ4s would slightly edge it, especially in red zone for me. But I still wouldn't say one unit is better than the other. I just think in one circumstances, the SSJ4s are slightly better, especially in red zone. You know, a lot of the harder content in the game, aside from ESBR, which you still need to consider and take into, you know, you still need to remember that Dokkan can continuously update Super Battle Road and ESBR the most. They are still updating, of course, GT Goku event and Vegeta event, but these two events get hardly ever updated compared to the frequency of Super Battle Road and ESBR. It's almost like once a month. You know, I wish it was a bit quicker because there's a lot of categories, but it's still way more frequent than GT Goku event and Vegeta event. And having, you know, not only they're going to be dominant there, but the reason why the SSJ4s edge it in that specific scenario to me and a lot of other harder content in the game, aside from literally Super Battle Road and ESBR, is the fact, where are we up to right now? We're already on almost a 600k attack stat, it's crazy, and we're getting constantly 20 key or more, which I mean is never really going to be an issue half the time, unless all placement is really not in our favour. But, you know, the main reason why they edge it in red zone is because a lot of content in the game you can't evade. How much is this going to do? I mean, we don't even have 200k defense yet. Still not bad, you know. Still not bad. Almost on a 5 mil attack stat already, and we're going to get an additional, which means we're probably pretty much there, but the reason why the SSJ4s would edge it in red zone to me is because once you fuse them into GOGETA, which you've got to do half the time, you have to bite the bullet a lot of the time with the gods and the SSJ4s and fuse the, you know, SSJ4s and transform the gods into blue. The reason why the SSJ4 GOGETA would slightly edge it there is because you can't stack these two units up enough to where their defense, you know, is at a point where you wouldn't have to worry about them getting supered by like a Broly or a Shenron. You know, the reason why they edge it there is because per rainbow keys for obtained once the SSJ4s are fused into GOGETA, they build up damage reduction. It's not a lot, you know, it's only 7% per rainbow keys for obtained, but at least it's guaranteed, like it's an extra bit of padding for defense. On top of where you stack them to, you know, they'll be in slot 2 or potentially in slot 2, hopefully in slot 2. You know, once they super, you're also going to massively raise your defense on 18 key, which, as I've said so many times, is really not difficult to do that with either of the LRs because of how easy it is to get key with them. So once you get the 18 key off, you've raised your attack and defense by 100%. If you're getting a 20 key or more on top of that as well, that's an extra 50%. And then if you've picked up enough rainbow key spheres, or even just one, you have 7% damage reduction per rainbow key sphere obtained on top of the defense you're going to have from stacking them a little bit. Then where their defense gets to once you've, you know, you fuse them, and then also the defense you're going to have after 18 keying, and if you do get 20 key or more, then also get any additional by greatly raising your attack and defense as well on 12. So that's why I'd say they're a little bit more valuable in red zone, just because they're a little bit more defensively safe or defensively solid, whereas, you know, having 7%, you know, evade chance per rainbow keys for obtained is nice. But unfortunately in Dokkan, there are not many circumstances where you can do that. We're already on 330k, 333k? 332k on defense. We've actually lost, funny enough, we've actually lost the 77% attack and defense, and this is where we're currently sitting. We still have, what, like potentially an extra turn against the Great Ape to build our defense, attack and defense up a bit more. Let me fuse the Tech Goku Vegeta to see if there's any super attacks coming our way. Oh yeah, also just remember we have an ATO active. Our defense isn't over 300k. I was kind of sitting there like I don't think we've super attacked that much, and we've got additionals every turn as well. Yeah, no, it's because of the ATO. It's because of the ATO. I was gonna say we lost our 77% attack and defense on top of that, so there's no way it could be in that region. And we're on a 170 lead on top of that. That's my bad. Are we getting supered? We're not getting supered. All right, cool. We can. They're fine. Okay, they're cool. Don't have to worry about no super attacks hitting the SSJ4s. But as I was saying, you know, the gods, it's nice to have a evade chance. You know, you can really take advantage of it in Super Battle Road and ESBR. Slight problem there is, you know, you're typically not in an ESBR fight or just a Super Battle Road fight for longer than 5-6 turns, especially with the Year 7 LRs involved, considering how much damage they do. You know, so can you really get them transformed to take advantage of the evade chance? Probably not often. You know, turn 4 is a great transformation condition, but, you know, as I said, you're typically in Super Battle Road fight for like 5-6 turns tops. So that is there, and a lot of the harder events, you know, you can use it if you transform them early enough in GT Goku and Vegeta event, which you can do and take advantage of it there, but on the flip side, because of how good they are for longer events, because they stack, you're going to be building them up the entire time, and you can't really take advantage of it in the final phase where you need it the most. In fact, you wouldn't even need it the most, because you would have stacked them up the entire time, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, where you would want it, not only have they been stacking up the entire time, but you can't evade on the final phase in either Goku, GT Goku event, or Vegeta event. There are some stages of Red Zone where you can dodge, not many, but there are some, so you can kind of take advantage of it there. So, you know, that's why I think in certain circumstances, especially Red Zone, and again, the last stages where you can't dodge, where defense is so important, we are getting super attacked at the end. I mean, we have almost full health. We do have 2 dupes in these two now, and they're going to super attack before we get there. Yeah, we should be good. We should be fine for this. He says. he says before we get absolutely clarted on a super, but yeah, we have pretty much full health. We should be good. We should be good. If we get an additional, we're definitely fine. But actually, no, what am I saying? We're not going to die. We might take a chunk of damage, but we're not going to die. I don't know why I'm worrying. We're not going to die. If we get an additional, we'll take even less damage. But yeah, that's why I slightly, in some instances, would say the LRSJ4s edge it over the gods for me, just because you can have damage reduction in any event in the game, whereas evade, quite limited. That's not me saying the SSJ4 is better than the gods. They are on par. They have to be. And they are on par. It's just as I said, in some circumstances or in some events, you can't dodge. So even though 7% chance per rainbow key sphere anyway, which isn't a lot, but it's something, the damage reduction is definitely more valuable compared to the evade, which is why I say the SSJ4s edge it in some scenarios. But they're definitely not better. They're definitely not better. And we've got an additional, which means we're taking less damage here. That's nice. But yeah, man, after waiting so long to experience these units, well, we actually got another additional as well, but unfortunately there was no super. But after seeing these units on JP and after waiting so long to actually get to experience them, and I don't mean just watching them, I mean actually getting to use them in the game, it's just, they are honestly so ridiculous and so dominant that it's no wonder they're 2 of the best units in the whole game. It's no wonder they're 2 of the best units in the entire game. We're already on a 603k attack stat. For once, we actually can't get an 18 key off. We actually cannot get an 18 key off this turn. We can't get an 18 key off of any of them. We are getting a Dokkan attack though, so this, even though we are doing a 12 key, we're still stacking, and this should do a plethora of damage because we do have type advantage here. As I said, the only thing that kind of not even hurts these 2 units, they're still incredibly dominant regardless. The only thing that's kind of, I guess, unfortunate and frustrating is you can't have the optimal rotations right now. You know, the tech god Goku's getting his EZA probably in about a week's time, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, give or take, but very soon. Which is great, because it means you can have that great rotation between EZA tech god Goku, the LR gods. God Goku can sit in slot 1, you know, can handle probably about 75% of the game, you know, with movie bosses and pure Saiyans literally being their kryptonite. And then the gods can sit in slot 2, just super away, building themselves up as much as they can. Whereas, again, you have to wait anyway, but unfortunately when it comes to the LRSJ4s and waiting for their EZAs during the EX portion of the anniversary, unfortunately we have to wait until then, which is quite a bit longer than EZA Tech God Goku. As I said, it's going to probably be here within like a week or so. But unfortunately, when it comes to the SSJ4s, you can't have their optimal rotation just yet. You're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but for being completely honest, it is definitely worth it for how good the EZA SSJ4, the EZA Year 4 SSJ4s are. They are so good, and honestly, running them with the LRSJ4s, with the LRSJ4 Goku's EZA, such a good rotation. I mean, it's already a great rotation prior to their, prior to their EZAs, but so unfortunately you have to wait a little bit longer for that to come out compared to EZA Tech God Goku. But still, these Year 7 LRs, man, they are incredible. They are ridiculously dominant. They are ridiculously dominant. And I mean, it's no surprise why. I can't wait to try them in the latter stages of Red Zone. Like, I already know how good they are. I've already seen what they can do, but I can't wait to experience it myself. You know, for those of you, and there's been quite a lot of you who have hopped in my stream on Twitch, by the way, if you don't want to see me stream on Twitch, link in the description down below. I will be streaming quite a lot throughout the anniversary, but I also do play other games, so if that does interest you, again, follow the link in the description down below. drop me a follow on Twitch. We're getting super tight, but it doesn't matter because they're going to be dead by then. We're up to 600, pretty much 50k attack stat, 255k defense. We can get one more stack out of the SSJ4s. And then, you know, I'm going to transform you two now. I mean, the video's not about you, so I'm going to transform you two now. And then have you ready for when we come back for SSJ4 Goku, or full power SSJ4 Goku. But yeah, these two units are incredibly dominant, and I just can't wait for the latter phases of Red Zone to really experience them in like the most difficult content in the game. And again, I know they're one of their flaws, their very minimal flaw is their immediate defense in Red Zone, but I want to see how much they still, because they still dominate Red Zone. They actually still dominate it. Their damage is just too valuable. Also, they can take a little bit too much damage, especially prior to transforming. That is literally their only downside. The only qualm you could have with these two units is their immediate defense just isn't enough for Red Zone. Once you transform them, they're kind of fine. I can't wait to try them out in the latter phases to see how they really do. But again, that's another one. Unfortunately, we have to wait a little bit for that. We indeed have to wait a little bit before we can start doing that. The friend Gohan has like 415, yeah, the 415k defense even with Type of White should be good, and we're supering before full power SSJ4 Goku attacks him. Even better would be is if full power SSJ4 Goku supers Namek Goku, because Type of White stacking the defense the entire time. I think we've got an 18 key like once, maybe twice. That would be perfect, because then we don't have to worry about taking any damage. But you know, even on, I know it's not that much of a difference. I said it with the gods. Going on a 170 team, a full 170 lead team, rather than the 200% lead team, the numbers they put out, I mean, the numbers any unit puts out is definitely noticeable immediately. Like, it's not a minor change. It's not a huge change, but it's not a minor change. It definitely is noticeable. And I know, again, it's only on a 170 lead team compared to a 200% lead team, which, again, the change isn't that big. But they are, okay, we are getting stupid, but we aren't dead. They are still so incredibly dominant, even on a 170 lead team. Okay, they've actually done way more than I thought it would, but we are okay. We are definitely okay. But they're still incredibly dominant. And I'm not surprised by this. They are, I had no doubt they would be incredibly dominant still. But the SSJ4s aren't even on a rotation that's kind of perfect for them. Don't get me wrong, this rotation isn't bad. I said this in the beginning of the video. This rotation is actually quite decent, and it's a lot of fun to run. You know, both LR SSJ4s on one team. Or sorry, not both LR SSJ4s. Both Year 7 LRs on one team, or on one rotation as well. But, you know, they're not even on their optimal rotation. You know, they're missing Saiyan Raw, which is quite a crucial link. They're on a 170 lead team rather than 200%, and they're still just so ridiculously good. Yeah, look at that. We've been stacking the entire time. We transform around 344k defense, and we still have almost a 900k attack stat. It would be rude. I'm going to use both of them. I'm going to use both the active skills. It would be rude not to. I'm going to use both of them back to back, which means we're getting a crit from GOGETA. We're getting a crit from the blues. We're also, all the attacks after that are all going to be crits as well. I probably shouldn't activate them both on the same turn, but why not? Just why not? So we're going to be doing a lot of damage this turn. Yeah, 6 mil crit, which means we're probably going to hit, you know, close to a 6 mil crit with the blues. They haven't stacked up, I don't think, nearly as much as the SSJ4s, but it's still going to do amazing damage. And all the attacks after are going to do ridiculous damage as well. They guaranteed crit. But yeah, man, these two units have been so dominant. So dominant. And they're probably going to be dominant probably until the next anniversary. Literally, I don't think, like, it's literally been stated, and I've seen it firsthand. We've all seen it. The Trunks and Vegeta coming out, because of how valuable defense is in this game, they are currently considered the best unit in the game. I think maybe depending on who you are, you could argue it, but I think just because of how good they are defensively, like, it's not like they're weak. They still put out some, really? Wow, Goku being a bitch. My guy decided to dodge that. That was going to be a guaranteed crit as well. My guy really decided to be a bitch. That's crazy. Ah, that was kind of rude. I mean, the gods are going to make, like, you know, they're going to make up for it. They've just critted you twice. You know, as I said, with Trunks and Vegeta coming out, you know, they're not weak. They put out very good numbers offensively. Probably not, I mean, definitely not on the LR, you know, the Year 7 LR's level. But they also are way better defensively. And not only that, their category in the game as well, their 200% lead. They've only made the Year 7 LRs better. Hardly any unit in the game has made a unit better once a new Dokkan Fest has come out. They've hardly ever made a unit better. Obviously, like Easy A's, sure. But a Dokkan Fest that literally come out like a few months ago, especially an anniversary unit, which is already considered the best in the game before they dropped, they've hardly ever made them even better than they already were, because they're already ridiculously good. That hardly happens that much, especially with anniversary units, like major celebration units. But the Year 7 LRs on JP and, you know, during December when Tanabata drops for Global, the Year 7 LRs are only going to get better because of how good the 200% lead is from the Trunks and Vegeta, and because of how good they are in slot 1 defensively, so you kind of have to worry about the Year 7 LRs a little bit less. But yeah, man, that side, these units are easily probably the best units we've ever seen in Dokkan. They are probably going to be... They're probably going to dominate the game until next anniversary. Literally, I do not see a unit... I mean, to be fair, the Trunks and Vegeta, again, debatable that they're better, but defensive is very valuable. But they are probably going to be some of the best units in the game until the next anniversary. I don't see many units toppling these, just because of how good they are. I mean, I could easily be wrong, but I definitely think they're going to be some of the best units in the entire game until the next anniversary. I think that's what it's going to take. But yeah, these are amazing. Let me know what you think. If you are still summoning, as I said to so many people on stream, whether you still need both of them or one of them, there's still a lot of time to get your stones up and pull one or pull the one you're missing. So just be patient. But I'll see you in the next video, guys, and push!